Welcome back to B for Crypto, and yes, is it finally happening? Are we going to see this reversal for Bitcoin? Because yes, we formed this lower high, and at the moment it looks quite bearish for the overall market, but we're going to find out what we could expect, because yes, we've got some major bullish news within the crypto market, and we could also expect a major dump within the markets due to some government issues, but we're going to look at the news and also the charts to find out what we could expect. And guys, if you want to support this channel, please smash up the like button and subscribe. And now let's directly go over to the news. And yes, the threat of a fresh US government shutdown over budget wrangling, politicians have until the 2nd of October to revert. Predictive markets now anticipate a 70% chance that we're going to see a shutdown. Are we actually going to see it? I don't think so. But yes, this could cause the markets to dump. But let's go over to the monthly returns of Bitcoin. And yes, we can see that September at the moment is at 1%. And yes, September is normally a quite bearish month, so we could expect maybe we're going to see this last shakedown with this government shutdown. But guys, if we look at the following month, we can see that October, November and December are quite bullish, especially in the years where we're going to see a halvening. So we could expect 3 months of bullish movement for Bitcoin. And talking about bullish movement, let's go over to the bullish news. Yes, Microsoft rumored to add crypto wallets to the next Xbox, and this is of course very bullish for the adoption of Bitcoin and also crypto as such, if we're going to see this incorporation into Microsoft. But guys, let's go over to the next bullish news. MicroStrategy adds 147 million worth of Bitcoin to their balance sheet, and yes, he knows what time it is and he's buying the dip. And that is also exactly what you should do. And if you want to buy crypto on the spot market or trade it on a leverage market, go down in the video description below and sign up to FOREX, OKX or even Bybit. Bybit is my favorite exchange, but if you don't like KYC, sign up to FOREX exactly now. So let's go over to the charts and let's find out why this could be the massive opportunity that we've been waiting for. And of course, we're going to find out, are we going to see a reversal pattern or are we already forming a reversal pattern? So let's go over to the charts. And yes, on the daily chart, we can see that Bitcoin formed this bearish lower high. And that of course is not good for the overall market. But what if I told you that we are forming a reversal pattern exactly here? Because yes, we can see that Bitcoin came all the way back down and we came to the low of $24,900 and we saw this bounce exactly at this major support box. So what does Bitcoin need to form so that we can say yes, we are forming a reversal pattern? First of all, Bitcoin needs to hold this higher low so that we could say yes, Bitcoin is forming a higher low and that we could expect a higher high, and this of course would be exactly in these regions. But before we're going to look at this reversal pattern on the 4-hour chart, we have to determine what is Bitcoin doing. And yes, we were in this range all the way to the levels of $24,900, and we can see that the price movement moves within this range. So yes, we could expect this breakout. But what are the important levels that Bitcoin needs to break? If we turn on the EMA, there we can see we have the 100 EMA exactly at this major resistance box, and we can see that we failed to break the 100 moving average exactly here where we formed this lower high, and we can also see that it was major resistance exactly here where we had this massive wick towards the upside. So this is going to be very important that Bitcoin breaks the 100 moving average towards the upside so that we can say that Bitcoin forms a higher high. But let's go on the 4-hour chart to find out which bullish pattern Bitcoin is forming at the moment. And yes, we can see we came all the way up to this resistance, and now Bitcoin is forming this falling wedge. And a falling wedge normally breaks out towards the upside, and we could expect the price target of all the way, yes, the top of this wedge. And this would be this major resistance zone round about the 27,435. But of course, Bitcoin needs to break out, and we could expect, yes, that Bitcoin comes all the way back down to the bottom of this trend line, which is round about the $25,800 level. And we could expect that yes, Bitcoin is going to hold this as support and we're going to break out from this falling wedge. So if you're going to trade this falling wedge, please wait for the breakout and this confirmed retest so that we can be sure that Bitcoin is on the lower time frames also forming a higher low and also a higher high, so that we could expect that on the daily chart we're going to break towards the upside and finally going to break this major resistance and the 100 moving average on the daily chart. But we need to look at the dollar currency index because at the moment we are seeing this massive move for the dollar currency index, and yes, this doesn't look healthy, this major pump towards the upside, so we could expect this dump towards the downside, maybe even from this looming shutdown from the US government, that we could expect, yes, that the overall market is going to come down, Bitcoin, the stock exchange, and also the dollar currency index, but Bitcoin would recover very quickly, because if we go over to the weekly chart, then we can see, yes, we saw this major banking collapse and Bitcoin quickly recovered from these areas, and we saw this massive move towards the upside. But first of all, we're going to look at the bearish price targets that we could reach for Bitcoin if we're going to lose this very important boring sideways movement and this major support round about the 25,000 US dollar level, and we're going to look at this potential price targets exactly at this trend lines. So first of all, we're going to go on the monthly chart to find out where does this trend lines come from, this green and the red trend line. So yes, on the monthly chart of Bitcoin, we can see that we have formed this red trend line exactly at the bottom of the 2018 bear market, where we saw that Bitcoin came all the way to the lows, and then we had this massive free halvening pump, but then we saw we had this corona dump and Bitcoin broke all the way down to the 4,000 US dollar level, but quickly recovered, and we closed above this red trend line with a monthly candle. And yes, we could see that the price movement of Bitcoin went up, we formed a new all-time high, and then we came down and we perfectly bounced off from this trend line. And this was also the third touch point, because yes, the first one was here, second, and also the third retest. So yes, we can see that this acts as support and that we could expect that we're going to bounce off from this red trend line, and the green trend line we have formed from the swing low from the corona dump at the 4,000 US dollar level, and we can also see we have the touch point exactly here and also here on the monthly chart. But let's go back on the weekly chart, and on the weekly chart we can see, guys, yes, we perfectly bounced off as we were forming the bottom in the bear market lows. So yes, this could be our worst case scenarios. First of all, I expect if we're going to get this shutdown or this major shock from the markets, from a potential shutdown, we could expect that the price movement of Bitcoin is going to come all the way back to this trend line and also this major support exactly at the levels of 24,300 US dollars. So this could be a potential reversal if we're going to see that Bitcoin is not going to break out on the forward chart from this falling wedge. So yes, and my worst case scenario is going to be this red trend line all the way at the levels of 22,000 US dollars. Yes, maybe we're going to see a wick beneath and then the price movement closes above. But guys, these are going to be my ultimate lows, because yes, if we zoom out, then we can see we have a lot of support exactly in these regions and also here and this whole way across these major support boxes. So yes, guys, I expect a wick towards the downside, but a quick recovery and a major move towards the upside for Bitcoin, because yes, we're getting this signal from Michael Saylor, Microsoft, that crypto is the future and that we could expect a massive bull run, and that's why you should dollar cost average into Bitcoin. Yes, we're seeing some major FUD in the markets from the governments, from the US, but guys, we need to focus on the charts and also what we could expect for Bitcoin, because yes, we're getting extremely close to the halvening, where we could expect that yes, we're going to see this parabolic run towards the upside, breaking the all-time high. But guys, we could expect a further dump towards the downside, or we're just going to go sideways. But I expect that yes, we're going to see a major volatility and that the market is going to come all the way up, reaching our pre-halvening high of 47 to 50,000 US dollars. So yes, guys, this is what I expect in the immediate short term. And are we going to break out from this falling wedge? We really need to keep an eye on the 4-hour chart, because yes, if we're going to break out from this falling wedge, maybe we're going to dump a little bit lower, because the price movement is dumping at the moment all the way to the support box, and then we could expect, yes, a higher low, and that we could expect that we're going to turn around in these regions, break this neckline of this W that we would be forming, and then we could see this breakout all the way up to the top of this range, which is also the price target of this falling wedge. So yes, don't focus on this major FUD in the markets, concentrate to dollar cost average into Bitcoin, because this is going to be the future. Because yes, guys, at the moment it looks quite bearish in the market, but I expect that Bitcoin is going to surprise us all. We don't need to focus on this major FUD in the markets, we need to focus on the price movement of Bitcoin. And on the daily chart, we can see that yes, Bitcoin is still forming a higher low, and this of course would be bullish if we're going to see this turnaround. So guys, yes, dollar cost average into Bitcoin and B for crypto, and we see each other in the next video.